I want to start with the lady on my immediate right, Juliana. Everyone will be given at least 2 minutes to break the ice. Tell us about who you are, what you're doing, and why you are here. Juliana.
Okay, thank you very much, moderator. My name is Juliana Kagwa. I'm the relatively new Chief Executive Officer of Uganda Tourism Board. And in a nutshell, I think the question was, why are we here?
Yes, why are you here?
Yeah, I'm here to sell Uganda.
Very good. You'll have your say. You will have your say.
Should I add on from there? Or?
Okay, since you have 2 minutes.
Since I have my 2 minutes. The reason why, I came accompanied by some of my team members is to see how we start to reopen, what we're calling reopen the UK as a source market. Before or prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, the UK was one of the biggest markets in terms of number of tourists coming into Uganda per year, in excess of 100,000. So we're now dwindling, a little bit under there. And we're trying to see how we start to get the tourists in this country, of which, by the way, diasporans are also part of the tourists. When you come home, it's not enough to just see your families. You must explore Uganda. You must adventure in Uganda. You must also start to immerse yourself in the products that we call whitewater rafting, that we call mountain climbing. Because if you don't subscribe to your own products or your own destination, it becomes very difficult to convince then people who are not indigenously Ugandans. So it's a two-pronged approach. We want diasporans to come home, and we also want, British-born citizens to come home as well and experience and explore Uganda. More importantly, I think in my last maybe 30 seconds, the other opportunity that we're going to leverage being here for the UK Africa Summit is we're talking tourism investment. So we are conscious that we've got, a beautiful location, a beautiful destination, God-given assets. But we're also conscious of the fact that we must diversify or grow our products. So we're looking at avenues like agritourism. And so you've seen the work we're doing in the coffee space. We're looking at sports tourism. We're looking at faith tourism. Uganda is one of the most, I think we proudly host one of the biggest shrines in the world, a shrine that commemorates the Uganda Martyrs. And those who don't know anything that I'm talking about, please just start Googling. So the Uganda Martyrs, it's a beautiful story that we want to start amplifying, not just one time in the year, but all year round. Recently we had the Rwenzori Marathon, which is now certified and globally recognized, and we're running in the beautiful ranges of Mount Rwenzori. So we're offering way more than wildlife now, and the opportunity, I think, for us to work together with the Ugandans in this room and outside is to start to get more UK visitors to come home and also spend more. So it's one thing to increase the numbers, but we're also trying to see if they can come with more money.
Thank you. Eric, you are promoting Uganda as a tourist destination. I read an article somewhere that we have overtaken Kenya in terms of numbers. I don't know how true that is, but also what are we doing to attract, especially our children? My children are here. They traveled this summer to Uganda. They had a negative perception about our country, what they have been seeing on social media. But I took it upon myself, without any security man or even somebody with an arrow, who drove across the country. By the time they finished, they said their perception of Uganda has changed. Does that perception also cut across the non-Ugandan tourists? And what are you doing about it?
Okay. Thank you for that. So, first of all, no, we have not overtaken Kenya.
Okay.
There's still work to be done. The last reading or the last numbers that we have, we are attracting about 1.3 million visitors annually. Kenya is tapering at about 5.4 million. Tanzania is also above the 5 million man mark. So that is generally our target for 2030. But we are telling ourselves as Ugandans and people that know what the assets are, and I'll go into that in terms of what we're doing to improve the perception and also unpack or demystify Uganda, as it were. We believe we can do that in a shorter amount of time. 2030 is too far for us to reach the 5 million man mark, given what we know about Uganda. So Uganda, simply put, for those who don't know, but of course majority of us here are Ugandans or have some kind of roots. Uganda, simply put, is one of the most beautiful locations on earth. And you can take that to the bank. Period.
I agree.
Inarguably. That one, we can sit and argue the whole day. We've got in excess, I think, over 165 lakes. In 241,000 square kilometers, we've got 165 lakes. Freshwater lakes. We've got the largest tropical lake in the world. Tropical lake. Which means in terms of biodiversity, it is unmatched on this globe. Over 200 species of biodiverse, call it amphibians, reptiles, fish, are in Lake Victoria. Untapped. We've got 1,000 plus species of birds. And in those, there's some that are, nearing extinction. So this might be the last generation to actually see some of these birds if we don't do anything about it from a conservation perspective. We're called, proudly called, the primate capital of the world. There's a reason for that. We've got 20 species of primates. Nowhere else in the world will you find that combination, that variety of primates. Of the 5 great apes on planet Earth, 3 of them are in Uganda. This is my favorite thing to say.
Very good.
No. I'm still coming, moderator.
Yeah.
These 3 great apes. The first one, obviously, is the gorilla that we talk about, that we proudly, we've got 29 families of gorillas in Uganda. The second great ape is a chimpanzee. Anybody offering the third great ape?
The monkey?
No. And it's not a baboon either. It is us. Yes. We are the third great ape that lives in Uganda. And a very unique great ape. Underpinning all the beauty and the destination assets I've described is the human resource we have. There is no other vibrant, more diverse nation. We have 60 tribes plus. I was disappointed when I came into the room, there's no screen, because then that means I have to talk more. Otherwise, I would have just shown you what I'm talking about. The music, the dances, the vibe, the food. It is difficult for me to encapsulate it. It is difficult. A video might have done this much faster. So moderator, you're going to indulge me. So the work we need to do is to demystify or unbank the negative narratives that are being, probably people need to sell newspapers and, somebody needs to sensationalize so that they keep a job. But you said it yourself. You went with your children and you opened their eyes. So this month, what we're doing, just one small thing we're doing, we're opening the parks. So we have World Tourism Day coming up on the 27th of September. And what we've agreed with the Uganda Wildlife Authority, in service actually of the young generation, because most of our Ugandans are young, some of them, disposable income is not as easy to come by. We're opening the parks so that Ugandans themselves can start to be ambassadors of Uganda. By the way, I'm here throwing out statistics. I'll assure you that before I started this job, I was just like you. I am learning about the biodiversity of Uganda as I go. So that work needs to be done by all of us. Unpacking, debunking these false narratives about Uganda. That's the work we're going to do. The third thing I'll say, and the last one.
Yeah.
The last one is around product diversification. So you will allow us, and part of the reason why we're here is to seek partners in investment, seek, new products that can be, that can improve the experience of tourists. I talked about them coming to spend more, but they cannot spend more if they're not staying longer. And they can only stay longer if we are offering more diverse portfolio of products. We need to develop our lakes, we need to put vessels on there, we need to put tourism, sports, attractions on there. Everywhere else in the world, there are cable cars. We need to experience Mount Rwenzori from atop Mount Rwenzori. So we're looking for partners to develop our tourism sector investment. I'll leave it at that, moderator.
Thank you very much. Eric?
Thank you very much. I want to thank the panel. My issues are with Juliana. I'm glad to see you. I'm here for two reasons. One, you talked about religious tourism. I'm here to invite the people of Sussex to come to a place called Chando, where Bishop Huntington was martyred from. He's the first martyr of Uganda. Before this one you're talking about, it was because of his death that the others were killed when they complained. So that place is very important. So for Sussex, that's where Bishop Huntington came from. Secondly, I'm in the hotel industry, and I'm very enthusiastic about tourism. I have unveiled 42 sites in the Musoga chiefdoms. We have 11 chiefdoms. Every chiefdom has got a sacred hill, sacred mountain, sacred caves. All these are very, very unique features. But I've moved around, talked about them, tried to market them, but no one is interested. So I'm looking here for those who can come and help us build around those places some restaurants, some accommodation, other facilities that will help us put money into that local economy. So I want to Juliana, and I want to see you in Busoga. I see everywhere else. In Jinja, baby. In Jinja, you are in Jinja.
No, Mbale
is not Busoga, but we can have
No. Okay.
Yes, she's coming now. So.
Yes. I want to see you in Kaguru. I want to see you in Mayuge. I want to see you in all those places.
The falls.
That is Jinja again. Don't talk about Jinja. Jinja is not Busoga.
It's the capital.
So you come and we talk. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable.
I put myself on her budget. I will come along.
So before we release the panel, was that I think I mentioned that videos, content is one of the ways that we'll be selling Uganda. It's very hard to describe something that people haven't touched and felt. So by way of, putting money where our mouths are and, action speaking louder than words, I would like to invite Ambassador Nimisha to receive the High Commission's content in this bag. I traveled with my staff. I knew someone would sabotage and not bring a screen. So we prepared a couple of 100 flashes that have a content, that have a bank of content. So there's videos on here, there's pictures, there's high-res images, all the collateral that you need to doll up our High Commission. I know you're doing renovations now. So yesterday I was provoking you because I knew I had the solution. We need more of our wildlife on the walls, the activities. We've downloaded all of that for you in high res. It's on here. However, it's a digital era, no? So this is just symbolic. We shall share a link, but I wanted this for pictures. Now, this way, Ambassador. Absolutely. Let me hand this over. Here, moderate.
My friend, please stand up and we take our photo moment. Look at the camera. Thank you.
start the presentation and we will add.
Ambassador, please join us in Juliana and we take our picture.
All right, as they take the pictures, I would want to thank the panelists very much for doing justice to your topic. Even though we're pushing them because we're running out of time, they did a lot well. Thank you very much. As a student, can we please put our hands together for them? Thank you so much.
My name is Nelson Tugume.
Thank you very much, Nelson. And it gives me, I think, very great pleasure to be on sharing the same stage with an innovator such as yourself, and somebody I think who's taking Ugandan coffee to the next level, not just exporting it to the world, but doing what we've always been talking about, which is value addition. So my first question, and I think I've been asking it even outside of here, unofficially. Why coffee? Why now? How come value addition has become so topical, and yet we've had this coffee for generations? Uganda is the home of Robusta in the world. So what has changed? How did we cross that tipping point? Yeah.
Thank you, Juliana. Once again, my name is Nelson Tugume, the CEO of Inspire Africa Group. Nelson Tugume is a third generation coffee farmer, meaning my grandparents and grandparents have been growing coffee. So it means that Uganda, we've been growing coffee for the last 100 years. And sooner than later, I realized this was an industry of $460 billion. $460 billion, Uganda at the time, was getting less than $800 million out of $460 billion. So I went into why, asked lots of questions, and I realized that as part of the Africa Renaissance, part of the Africa Now, friends, I'm tired of you people telling us that Africa is the future. Please, if you're in that category, could you remove yourself now? Africa is now. And I'm Africa now because I've been told by my parents, that we're going to get enough money about 20, 30, 40 years ago out of our coffee. And up to now, I see Uganda has now crossed to $1 billion, about $2 billion now, out of the $460 billion. But we pride ourselves and say Uganda is the leading coffee producer and coffee exporter in Africa, and still gets less than $2 billion. Now the governor is telling me that we've crossed about $2 billion. So my answer to you and the investors and people in this room and the UK is what could be the problem. And that's why we've come up, and we would like to disrupt on how Africa has been thinking, on how we, the young people, have been thinking, to be able to tap this share. And I'm calling all the African people, the investors here in the UK, that please come to Uganda and we tap into this treasure of 460 billion. It's time for us to make money. If we made only 10 billion in this room, I mean, guys, I'm not talking about shillings, $10 billion. So that's why we've been able, as Inspire Africa Group, to mobilize about $300 million to set up the biggest Africa coffee park in Africa, in Uganda. Mm-hmm. And for what reason? One, if you really want to tap enough money, you must think big. I'm in this room looking for another $1.2 billion to realize the dream of the Africa Coffee Park. So if you're in this room to come and make with me money, I'm looking for $1.2 billion. Right now we are at the stage of producing. Honorable Minister of Energy has given us enough power, which was a problem, and other amenities where the government has really come in on the 300 million. Actually, we're proud to thank the government and especially the president who has championed to make sure we mobilize these $300 million to make sure we take a bold step. We still have a further step to take to make sure we become the champions of the world. I can just tell you something. Just only soluble coffee is a $180 billion around the world. We only have Colombia, Vietnam, and Brazil doing the soluble coffees. I mean the producer countries. We want to be number 4 in Africa, but also in the world to make sure we are the best to really produce soluble coffee for the world and other global markets. So if you're an investor in this, it's your time to come and join us. But most importantly, Juliana, we are in this to disrupt, not just for making money. I also lead millions of farmers who have decided that they are ready to collaborate with other investors globally. Next time when I'm here listing on the London Stock Exchange, it's a representation of me and the African farmers. Like I said, I'm a third coffee generation farmer. I went to school without shoes. I hustled like any other African young man. It's a pity. It's of great pain. Friends, listen to me. Still see African coffee farmers still going to school without shoes. And we come here and enjoy a good cup of coffee. It's something that we need to think about and equalize and bring balance to the global stage, to these young, upcoming coffee farmers. And that's the reason why I'm actually tell you that it's actually not shameful, but I think it's the world to start thinking to bring this imbalance to the global stage. We can't enjoy a good cup of coffee when our brothers, when our good friends are still going to school without shoes. I went to school without shoes. I know what that means. I was a son of a coffee farmer. And I know so many of them. And that's why I'm here to represent so many, because they can't be here.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nelson. You talked a little bit about the industrial park as one of the vehicles through which, our partners in this room, the UK, Commonwealth, can invest. Are there other specific vehicles, and what else specifically in the industrial park are you looking for that $1.2 billion for? Maybe you can speak a little bit to even the feasibility studies you've done, what the ROI outlook is, so that we can break it down for people who are interested in working in this space with you.
Thank you, Juliana. Number one is that what you know very well, we're introducing a product with you on coffee tourism. We're setting up, Honorable Naka talked about the second international airport in Uganda. We have a third international airport coming on, the Coffee International Airport. We've already done the feasibility study. We've already broken down the space. We're starting with a 3-kilometer runway so that when people come to that space, they are able to take only 1 hour 45 minutes from Entebbe, and then they can be able to land at the Africa Coffee Park and be able to go to Wind in 1 hour, be able to go to Queen Elizabeth in 1 hour, be able to move around in just 1 hour. I know the governor takes 6 hours to go to his home, so the Africa Coffee Park has got you. You don't need that. You just fly in for just 1 hour and then go to your place for just 1 hour. So the investors who are involved in setting up the Coffee International Airport, please, you're welcome. We're setting the biggest Africa financial and IT center for AI, financial management. When other people are talking, the governor is here. When the BRICS are talking, the dollar, the pound, where is Africa? Where is Africa? So probably this could be the next Davos of Africa that we are setting up. We expect to employ about 40,000 young people in IT. And then the other one is that we are setting up the most smartest city in the coffee growing area where the Africa Coffee Park is. We talked about the net zero carbon emissions, the AI, the blockchain technologies. We are putting our farmers on the blockchain technology for a coffee fund, which I've even discussed with the governor. Where are we on that? And therefore, that needs a huge investment, a lot of support. And that's the reason why we're looking for the $1.2 billion to make sure this dream comes to a reality. But a lot also has been done, in terms of planning, feasibility studies, the power, that's electricity, which is the most huge. I think the water, the roads, the planning, that has already been set out to manage this. So if you can be part of this, but also we are calling on a very unique model, maybe Professor Luaga will help me. The farmers will own this. So we'll be able to come up with 100 kilos of coffee and own shares. So this is led farmer growing to be their own and be proud and connect and collaborate with the global markets and the rest of the world.
Okay, Nelson. No wonder the product is called Inspire Coffee.
Inspire Africa Coffee.
Inspire Africa Coffee, because speaking to you and listening to you is inspirational in itself, for you to have gotten to this point. So, by way of critical mass, and this is the last question. I see the moderators already, the other moderators already on the stage. By way of critical mass, which is, what is that bare minimum amount of coffee that Uganda must export so that we unlock, a self-sustaining process or reaction, we gain momentum. So here in the tourism space, we're calling the number 3 million visitors by the year 2027. We believe if we gain that kind of momentum, we will create a ripple effect. So what's that number you're going for in coffee?
Our target in the next 5 years is 5 billion.
Yes.
And friends, so is that we've been exporting coffee for the rest of our time. But we've been exporting raw beans. Please, friends from the UK and the rest of the world listening to us today, Africa is rising. Africa is waking up. Maybe, who knows, in the next 3-4 years, there will be no more raw beans from Uganda. The president, our president, and I know the rest of the African leaders are very passionate about that, about their cocoa and other products. So would it be the time now for our investors, our friends from the UK and the rest of the world, to come and start partnering with the local investors to make sure they don't lose out? Because something is happening in Africa. Absolutely. Africa is now.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Nelson. Really impressive, and it's true. Africa has reached the tipping point. So now it's for investors, it's for people to get on the train or, be left behind, as it were. So thank you very much, Inspire Africa Coffee. Do you have samples for the people?
Oh, please. When you get out there, they are very nice people with shirts like...
Can you stand so we see you?
Could you please stand?
Could you please identify yourselves?
Right there is the team from Inspire Africa. Please, the ladies, we got you. We have the best cosmetics ever innovated out of coffee that will cut your age by half. If you're 50, it'll be 25.
I'm a witness. I can tell you. I'm a witness. Ever since I started using that lotion.
Absolutely.
The coffee lotion.
Absolutely.
20 years gone. Yeah.
Please, the best coffee that you can meet with, the best aroma, you get it out there. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey, please stand for the photographer for me. I'll be the first to the stand to pick up my products. Am I invited? Thank you.